socialEdge interviews social entrepreneurs who tackle some of the world's biggest problems. They are pioneers of innovation that benefit humanity.
My name is Jose Ignacio Avalos. I'm from Mexico, based in Mexico, always lived in Mexico. And I've come to discover that I am a social entrepreneur. They sometimes call me serial social entrepreneur because I've launched many programs and projects mainly achieving social justice, fighting against poverty, aiding poor people. I work in a nutrition program called Un Kilo de Ayuda. I founded this institution because undernourished children cannot memorize a telephone number. And we have 40 million people in our country living that suffer malnutrition between the age 0 and 5. And right now we have 3.5 million children with malnutrition, and well, these children will not be able to end school. And I also work in a program with rural stores in a project called Mi Tienda. I founded Banco Compartamos, which is a microfinance institution. It's a fully licensed bank in Mexico. And I also work in clinics and hospitals to alleviate the health of poor indigenous people in rural areas in Mexico. One afternoon, my oldest girl, she was 3 or 4 years old, was fighting after the candy with an indigenous boy in a very poor community in Mexico. And I tried to convince my daughter to give the candy away to the other little boy. And my wife told me, no, learn from your children. No? They're fighting over the candy because they're looking at themselves as equals. And you're looking at them as different. No? So learn from them. And I guess that is a very inspiring story. Since then, I try to see myself as an equal to those people that I have the pleasure to work for. I was helped a lot by Mother Theresa of Calcutta. She was my mentor and inspirer, and also by Pope John Paul II. And the story is, I left Mexico City when I was 23 years old with the purpose of meeting with the Pope and having an interview with him. And everybody laughed at it. But, well, I got to Rome. I went to this public audience and I yelled to the Pope's secretary, and nobody yells at him. Everybody's screaming the Pope's name, and nobody's screaming Monsignor Stanislao. So I called out his name many times, so he comes to me to see what I wanted. And I said, I come for a personal interview with the Pope. And he tells me, well, that is impossible. So, just to tell you that, I said, well, I don't have a hurry to go back to my country, so I'll be here every public audience and I'll yell out your name and remind you that I want an interview with the Pope. So he laughed at me and he gave me a telephone number to call him that afternoon. And I was very happy just to have a number in the Vatican. And but people that knew laughed at me again because they thought, well, that is the central number of the Vatican, so you're not going to be able to speak to the Pope's secretary. Nonetheless, I called that afternoon and I asked for Monsignor Stanislao, and they connect me to him. No? Somebody answered Stanislao, and I said, oh, wow, well, I am this Mexican guy that you met this morning. Oh, yes, I remember. Please be here tomorrow at 6 o'clock, 5:30, at La Puerta de Sant'Angelo. So the next day, I went there. Well, very briefly for the internet, I could say that I spent 1 hour praying with the Pope, him and I alone. Then I had a private mass that was concelebrated by 20 priests, the Pope and myself. And then I had my personal interview with the Pope. And what I talked to him about is the projects, about social justice, about promoting values with youth, with young people, about the differences between rich and poor, and the struggle that the poor people were living in our country, and also that how youth was losing values, that would help youth come to be a next generation with strong values and a strong formation. And well, I had this interview which was a magnificent thing, very inspiring, and since then, well, like Mother Teresa, Pope John Paul became my mentor. What I would say is always strengthen the cause, fight for the cause, believe in the cause, and believe that no effort is wasteless. As little or as big the effort, every effort takes you ahead. So my advice is always meditate, pray, work for the cause. And I will also say that praying is important, but social entrepreneurs were big workers. We're working all day, and yes, we have to work like if everything would depend on us. But also we have to pray, knowing that at the end, everything depends on God.
Global X is also on Social Edge at socialEdge.org.